Fun. What is fun? Enjoyment, amusement, or light-hearted pleasure. Year after year, we do it to ourselves. Distraught in May, but so sure in August. It takes one whole summer, and our troubles are left behind us. A squad of 15 digital football players. Yes, we picked that squad, but at that point, we relinquish all control. When the whistle blows, our fate rests with the gods. Why do we continue to do it? What is it that drives us to play this sordid game year after year? A Salah hat-trick or a Watkins red card? Fine margins that will leave scars for a lifetime. Fantasy Premier League is the game that drives us up the wall, but we keep coming back for more. Here, right here, we don't care about stats, nor do we entertain terms like XG. We are here to dive into the seedy underworld, the underbelly of the community that nobody speaks of. We'll lend a shoulder to cry on and a platform to remonstrate. This is FPL Unhinged. Welcome to the very first episode of FPL Unhinged. My name is Sean Tallon. I am the face behind FPL Unhinged. We are coming to you today from the prestigious Old Granada Studios in Manchester. Joining me today as co-host is award-winning illustrator, FPL veteran, and my brother, Ben Tallon. Ben, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm well. Glad to be here.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about today to start with is the much talked about FPL community. This community that lurks on Twitter, the underbelly as we sometimes refer to it as. The nerds, the transfer planning spreadsheets, the stats. I wanted to get your opinion on that. What do you think of that community? How do you feel about that amongst the game that we play?
Very emotionally torn about that lot. I wasn't aware of it until you started writing this stuff on the blog, and I am shocked and I'm not shocked. You know, it's like I said, I belong to a lot of nerd communities, wrestling, this stuff, Japanese role-playing games as a teenager. You know, I have a deep love for anybody who's into what they're into to that degree. But given what this game has done to me, you know, football, fantasy football, it's drags me all over the place, turns me into a nervous wreck. So when I see this lot all over the show every week on social media, it depends. If you've had a good week, I just jump right in there and love all of it, yeah, and just watch everyone getting pecked to death. But then I have a bad week, and I'm a watcher. I'm very much a peeper. I haven't involved myself with it. If I see a real meltdown tweet, occasionally I'll give it a sneaky little like. I mean, maybe that's trolling. I'm not sure, but it's up there in terms of nerd communities. These guys are right. I think of mum's curtains drawn, dusty bedrooms, single bed, Spider-Man bed sheets. It's probably not that, because I mean I've been that myself, and it was once upon a time, not too long back, but we won't go there. You know, you love them and hate them.
You don't consider yourself part of that community, then, it's safe to say?
No, my obsession levels are certainly right there with them, but I can't. It's when I look at these bios and see top 10k in 2008, and I think, have you done anything else with your life? I mean, maybe that's a bit harsh, but I think, come on, like, what? That's deep. And given that, really, no matter how good you tell yourself you are, this stuff is largely out of your control, especially when Guardiola's doing what he does. And what the game does to me anyway, I mean, to start putting badges of honour up on my, not that I've got any, but if I start putting badges of honour up on my banner and the rest of it, where does that end?
Yeah, I hear you. So, moving on to last season, 2021 was obviously bizarre with the pandemic. It's like an FPL season we've never seen before, deadline after deadline after deadline. How was it for you? Any highs, any lows, and any memories that stick out?
Highs were very vicarious. I mean, I had outside the top million. That's where my season was. Probably why, like I said before, I don't put this stuff up there, because, well, why would you, really? I mean, but the vicarious, I enjoyed it because actually a lot of the missionary men, the Harry Kane captains and the rest of it, it was, last season was a nightmare for them. Surely, I mean, you couldn't predict what was going on one week to the next for the reasons that you just mentioned. But so I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. And I'm the kind of fool who lives for that 1 week in a season when, I don't know, Kufal triple captain pays off. Very, very rarely does any of it come off, and it's just a lot of pain week to week. But there was more of that going on last season, so that was kind of fun. But no, by and large, it was hard work last season, and there was so much stress on a weekly basis that, given it's the first season I've really been aware of the FPL community, I think that I'll class that as a high.
And it's funny you mentioned triple captain, actually. Who was yours last season?
John McGinn.
So, in terms of the summer, I've taken it off. I want nothing to do with this Euro fantasy that's going on. I need 2 months off just to clear my head. But you, on the other hand, you're playing fantasy Euro, is that right?
Yeah, I got talked into it. I mean, the idea was, I suppose, like a lot of people, a bit of downtime, let the nerves settle and try and come back in a better frame of mind, a little bit less reckless with management style for next season. But no, somebody floated the idea of a 10 quid buy-in mini league, and it'd be a bit of fun. I don't know anything about the Euro. I can just pick it up. When is it ever fun? When does it ever turn out when you're sat there going, oh, that was a good game, I got a few points from that? No, it's walks around the block, it's standing on aisles in co-op, not even knowing why I'm there or remembering how I got there. Arse round ankles tackle, to be quite honest. I actually had a pretty good game week the last week, and the guy in my league didn't realise that the Limitless chip, which he just assumed it was the exact same as the free hit chip in the FPL game, and it wasn't. You get a limited budget, and I only worked this out halfway through using the thing, and he didn't clock, so there was a little bit of dark pleasure going on there. But I don't know why I'm doing it this summer. It's like I'm on there every morning just checking. I did put that captain through and the rest of it, and that's time I could be spending with my kids.
So, FPL 21-22 is looming. It's gone live as of this week, which I couldn't believe when I heard that. The prices are out. What do you anticipate for next year? Any changes to your management style? Are you confident? What are you thinking about next season?
No to everything. No, I'm not confident in the slightest. I've got no idea how to change my management style because it's purely emotional. It's, like everybody else, I sit there reading the blogs in the summer. I think I've got it all sussed out. And whereas I think a lot of people will ration themselves on transfers and they'll kind of take the emotional storm, do something else, bypass it, and then go and make some rational decisions. I've pushed 4 transfers through by 7 p.m. on a Saturday night and not talking to my wife, and so I don't see any change there, to be honest. Question is, why am I even doing it? Why am I coming back? But I am, because we do, and that's just what this thing does to you, and it grows every season. It gets more media coverage, it looks sexier on Sky and the rest of it, but they don't show that stuff. They don't show duvets and pillows falling out of a bedroom window on a terrace in that's not.
Yeah, they don't go there, do they? Coming up in the next segment, we'll be introducing our very special guest on FPL Unhinged. It's now time to introduce our special guest on this section of FPL Unhinged. I think it's fair to say we've got illustration royalty amongst us. His list of accolades is endless. Clients such as The New Yorker, he's done cover art for New York Times, and of course the work he's done for his beloved Manchester United. I am delighted to welcome today Stan Chow.
Hi Sean.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, yeah. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, it's a pleasure to have you. So, of course, we're here to talk all things FPL. So let's get into it.
Okay.
FPL, when did it start for you? How long have you been playing for?
I think it started around about 2000, well, it started because I quit playing Football Manager. It was like, I was addicted to Football Manager, and that was like, and like, I don't think my wife was too happy at the time. Just kind of like, this is gotta go. It's either you or me, or Football Manager or me. I quit Football Manager. I think the last version I had was like the 2010, 11 one. So quit Football Manager, and then what was available was the BBC Fantasy League. But the BBC one was like a really casual one. You can just kind of like, you get invited by your friends to join each league and just do it. And that kind of became my replacement for Football Manager, And then I did that for a few seasons, and then I had more friends who were getting into FPL. So you just kind of I'll have a dabble. So yeah, that's the start of my FPL.
Where are you up to now with it? You still playing? It's still going on? Are you obsessed? Where are you up to with it now?
I've given up, man. It just got too much. It interfered with, I say, you know, I quit Football Manager for you know, for like, you know, family reasons, and you could see like it could see the same thing happen again with FPL, and there's like, I can't go there again. You know, got 2 kids. You know, who wake up at 6 in the morning. When United ever have a 3 o'clock kickoff, I'll go to the game, but I'll spend more time looking at the other scores, seeing if seeing who scored. You know, and the worst thing is like you're sometimes playing against the team, and the players are in, and the opposition have got players in your team, and you kind of like, do I want them to score or not? You know, it's like, what's more important, my football team winning or my FPL? Yeah. And it's like, it was a conflict. I was like, emotionally, you know, it's like, I didn't think, you know what I mean? I didn't think it would affect me that much, but it's like, actually, God, it's like, you're kind of in the middle of a game, conflicted. You try to cram in as many players of your own team as you can. And like, is the maximum 4 or something like that? Was it 3 or 4? I can't remember now. But like, but it's like, you know, so you obviously hope for them to like get an assist or score a goal or whatever.
Allegiance is a real issue. It's we had, Sean and I had a mutual friend in a league of ours, and his rule, he's a big United fan too, and his rule was no City, no Liverpool, no John Terry. And he stuck to it rigidly. And I mean, he managed to carve out a middle of the table finish despite the constraints that gave him.
No, I was pretty lax about that. It was either like you know, like for me, you either had to have Aguero or Kane up front. You know, like for like 4 or 5 seasons, it was like Aguero or Kane. There's no point. There's no point in having any other strike.
I find that really interesting that you packed it in, because I think we've all considered it at some point, given the stress level. So when was that? Was that a couple of years ago?
I think it was Ole Gunnar's first season. I mean, like, I packed it in like mid-season as well. That's the thing. You know, I didn't pack it in like at the end of the season. What was happening was like I mean, I was in 2 other like mini leagues, you know what I mean? But I remember I was like top 50 in the actual National League. I got to top 50 in the first month. You know what I mean? This is like, oh my God, this is great. And then something just happened. It was like I went on free fall. Couldn't stop the free fall. It was like, shit, man. I was top 50 for like 2 weeks here. I don't see myself as a quitter, but it was like, there's no point now. Why did I take him off? You know what I mean? Why is Aguero stopped scoring all of a sudden? You know, or whatever. You know.
So in terms of you quitting, it was purely the free fall that led to that. It was one free fall too many.
Yeah. It was that free fall really. You know. I mean, it's like I was also because I was doing so high in the National League. I was doing really well in the Illustrators League I was in. I don't know if you were in the Illustrators League. Were you in it?
I've been in. I'm still in one.
Right, because it was like, you know, there's quite a few quite well-known illustrators in there, and I was pretty chuffed, and I was gloating a lot on Twitter, you know, and then I was like, I think, as you know, the problem was I probably gloated too much, like on Twitter, like whilst I was leading, and then the free fall happened. It was like, I'm just going to delete it now. I forget about it. You know,
delete Twitter.
Delete Twitter. I think of that, but I just kind of like logged out of FPL forever. You know, it's like I can't even remember a password now. You know, it was like I just erased it from my memory. I don't even know who won that league yet anymore. You mean I got to a point where I couldn't care less. I needed to move on. You know, life was living my life as joyful and happy as possible was what I was aiming for.
So, with the 21-22 season fast approaching, the $1 million question is, what would it take to bring Stan Chow back to FPL?
I think like they have to change it to stuff like the actual FPL actually giving away like getting food vouchers. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you won high score that week, you get like a free meal from McDonald's or something. You know? It's like I'm a sucker for free food. You know, it's like, and like next week it's KFC. I'm a vegetarian as well, but that's the thing. But But yeah, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like
Free condiment
whatever.
pots for life.
Who
They should
pays
offer an
that?
FPL retreat. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking now. Like the Buddhist monastery up in the hills with no reception and
I know, yeah,
erase your logins from your brain.
So there we have it. As the Euros continue, the 21-22 FPL season draws ever closer. Another year of stress and discomfort is on the horizon, but strangely, we're all gagging for it again. Stan, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for
It's been an
having
absolute
me.
honour to have you on. Stan's work can be found at stanleychow.co.uk and across all his social media profiles as well. You can see an example of his great work on the table in front of us today. Ben, thanks so much for coming on as the first co-host. It's been great to have you on. I'm sure you'll be on again further down the line.
Sure I will.
And lastly, thank you very much to Spoke TV for making this happen today. All future FPL Unhinged content can be seen on the Spoke TV YouTube channel, and you can follow FPL Unhinged at FPL Unhinged on Twitter as well. This has been FPL Unhinged. See you in August for more tales of woe.